Hey guys, it's Binary from Tess, and today we're going to be going over some keybinds and some basic to intermediate maneuvers in the Reaver. They just got two to cover. First, we got to get you set up with keybinds, as that Reaver rams me. Keybindings are very important in the Reaver, particularly pitch up and pitch down are going to save you in a lot of situations by allowing you to execute more maneuvers. Don't think you can just play on a higher sensitivity. I promise you're going to need these keybinds. So just trust me on this. Now, I like to bind pitch up and pitch down to 3 and 4. They're very close to your WASD, so it's going to be natural for your fingers to move to these positions. So go ahead and bind those to whatever you want. 3 and 4, take my advice, or whatever the fuck you want. Just get them bound. Second, what you're going to bind is you're going to bind your analog throttle. It's not often used, but I promise. In later videos, we'll cover how to use the analog throttle and situations to use it in. After that, we're going to be covering roll left and roll right. Now these keys, some people use them a lot, some people don't. You might find yourself never touching them, but it's at least worth having them bound because it unbinds the E key at least for you, which is exit vehicle. Q and E, good keys. Whatever key you want, once again, just bind them. Although if you don't bind at least E to roll right, you're going to need to rebind your exit key to something else. Personally, I like minus. It's not used by anything. It's out of the way. You're not going to accidentally tap it. Rolling left and rolling right are sometimes situationally useful, sometimes not. Sometimes you're just going to use your mouse. It really depends on the situation. And that's really all it takes for key bindings. Make sure to bind your Q key that used to be spot to something like F. Personally, I like F for spot and Q for usability on my infantry, and roll on my aircraft. So pretty simple stuff. Next, we're going to be covering a couple really basic maneuvers in the Reaver. Actually, really, the only basic maneuver you need to know is the banking turn. Aircraft turn like this. It's a banking turn. Most of you have already done this by now. It's nothing new. It's nothing exciting. The biggest mistake people make is they try to bank like this. Don't do that. Always, 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 always pitch down to bank. Always pitch down to bank. You're going to turn faster, and it's going to keep your thrusters in a downward position, so you can use this next maneuver route to teach you guys. Alright. So the next maneuver, and my favorite maneuver, it's probably just because I use it a lot in my flying style, is called the reverse maneuver. Now the reverse maneuver has a couple situationally advantageous perks to it. So what you're going to do first is... Actually, I'm going to demonstrate this to you. So say you have an enemy ESF. You just landed for repairs, you're on fire, he's coming to get you. You hop in, you pop your fire suppression, you dust off the ground a little bit, and just pop a nice reverse maneuver. And you're facing him. And now you can gun him down. Fairly simple. To execute this, there's a couple distinct steps to it. So the first one is you're going to lift off a little bit. So tap your spacebar. Hold the S key. This keeps your thrusters in a downward position, which is a must for the reverse maneuver. I'm going to repeat that again. Your thrusters have to be locked in a downward position for the reverse maneuver to function correctly. So let's give that a tap. You're going to bank to whatever way you want to spin out to. So I'm going to bank this way. And then you're going to pitch down while holding spacebar. See this? While holding spacebar and turning. So you're going to pitch down while on your side. All the keys that I'm holding down right now. And the way to bank the other way is just to do the same thing, but execute a banking turn in the opposite direction. Just like that. This is pretty useful to stall in the air. If an enemy's on your tail, you can reverse maneuver and face him. And that's the horizontal reverse maneuver. There's a vertical one, which stalls you in the air. It's pretty much like a very effective air brake. It's really confusing on newer pilots. It actually scares the shit out of them. The reverse maneuver is one of those maneuvers that kind of transcends skill levels. A lot of new players use it. A lot of advanced players use it. It's a good maneuver to have in your arsenal. So the way the horizontal reverse maneuver works is pretty much the same way. You have to make sure those thrusters are locked in that downward position. You're just going to roll and afterburner out. And last but not least, another variant on the reverse maneuver is the ability to strafe a ground target. Oftentimes you'll find yourself being locked on. Say you're at a spawn room, right? Shooting, having a good time. Just going to dust off a little bit, nose down. Break that lock on that has you. Get him with the air hammer, with your rocket pods, whatever you have. Allows you to do a 180 around the spawn room or wherever you're camping. Getting those delicious certs and just break those lock-ons, annoy the ground shitters down there, and make everyone have a bad day all around. And that's really all I'm going to throw out there for right now. That's, your intermediate level, reverse maneuver, and your really entry level banking turn. One thing to note though is even if your thrusters aren't all the way in the down position, you are going to be able to start a reverse maneuver because nosing down makes your thrusters start aiming down. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for joining us. Farm some infantry.